Good morning. My name is Dave Benjamin. I'm the co-founder and executive director of the Great Lakes Surf Rescue Project. We are a huge proponent of House Bill 4165, the Lake Michigan Rescue Equipment Act. We've been leading Great Lakes water safety and advocating for life rings across the Great Lakes since 2010. We have tracked over 1,044 Great Lakes drownings, and almost half of those drownings happen in Lake Michigan. Since 2010, we've also provided over 870 Great Lakes water safety presentations in 7 of the 8 Great Lakes states, and we have also worked with family and friends of drowning victims. We have seen where life rings have saved lives across the Great Lakes, and we have seen where lives could have been saved if life rings were available, especially in Illinois, and more specifically in Chicago. Now, we may be saying, I understand, I really applaud the Park District for coming forward and planning to install these life rings in Chicago by this Labor Day or this summer. And you may be questioning, should we still mandate this in Illinois? So I believe we should, because unfortunately, promises have been made in the past and they weren't fulfilled. We need to understand that while water safety should be common sense, it's not common sense. Water safety is not common sense for the average American, and it's not common sense for the average person in political power to make change. So we need to really increase public water safety education. If water safety was common sense, these life rings would have been installed decades ago. In 2012, after 14-year-old Lexi Dew drowned off Loyola Park, or in 2015, after 17-year-old Eddie Horns drowned off 31st Street Beach, or in 2018, after 13-year-old Jeriana Torres and 55-year-old Horatio Leon also drowned off the lakefront. And then in 2020, 15-year-old Patrick Tedeschi drowned near Diversey Harbor. So if water safety was common sense and people really understood the importance of this, life rings would have been installed in 2021 before 20-year-old Miguel Cisneros drowned off Pratt Pier. So we cannot continue to rely on assumed water safety common sense to do the right thing, because that has already cost way too many lives. In addition, since 2020, there have been 9 additional drownings in the Chicago area where a life ring could have possibly made a difference. So we need to understand drowning. Consider 1 minute. It is not common sense to know that an active drowning will submerge in less than 1 minute. And then around 3 minutes of submersion, the heart may stop. And around 4 minutes of submersion, irreversible brain damage will begin. At 10 minutes of submersion, there's only a 14% chance of survival if the body is recovered and oxygen is restored to the brain. So it is near impossible to find a drowning victim after they have submerged in Lake Michigan in less than 10 minutes and provide them oxygen. We must provide flotation to the drowning victim to prevent the submersion. It is also not common sense to know that 1 U.S. Coast Guard response boat and 1 U.S. Coast Guard helicopter costs well over $20,000 per hour. One drowning response that lasts over 24 hours can cost taxpayers well over $500,000 per day. Some drowning responses may last several hours, several days, weeks, months, and even years to recover a body. We then must also consider additional costs that taxpayers and families may endure. In 2018, when 55-year-old Horatio Leon was recovered from Lake Michigan off Monroe Harbor, he spent 13 days in the ICU on life support before he died. His medical expenses were over $800,000. So we applaud the Chicago Park District for coming forward with the plan to install these life rings, that this is already something that's in motion, but there's additional coastal communities outside of Chicago that we should still have this and set this as a leadership role. In Chicago, gated boat harbors have life rings. The Chicago River has life rings. Navy Pier has life rings. And on January 22nd of this year, just a few weeks ago, a 15-year-old girl was rescued from Lake Michigan off of Navy Pier with a life ring. The life ring kept her at the surface long enough for a response boat to get to her. So please sponsor this Lake Michigan Rescue Equipment Act, the House Bill 4165. There are piers in Wisconsin, Indiana, and across Michigan that all have life rings. And I applaud Chicago has a great marine rescue division. They have an excellent lifeguard program, and the only deficiency that we have seen in the 10 year or 11 years that we've been working in water safety is just life rings and the accessibility to them where they are most needed. So thank you very much for the time.